So in this question, we're told that the music preferences of 500 individuals are summarized in the table below. We're asked to use the chi-squared test at the 1% level of significance to investigate whether there's any association between their gender and their preferred music. So let's start with our hypotheses. The null hypothesis. There is no association between gender and musical preference, so that is to say that they're independent. And the alternate hypothesis, there is an association, so they are not independent. So with a contingency table, we actually first want to start with some totals. So we get the totals of these rows, and then we can move on to find the total of these columns. Both ways, we should be able to read that the grand total is going to be 500. To calculate the expected outcomes, we need to do the row total times the column total divided by the grand total. That gives us the expected frequency for each of these intersections. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that in red. So the expectation for male students who like pop music is going to be 264 times 191 divided by 500. Similar calculations for the rest of these. So in red are our expected frequencies. So from here we should be able to find a critical value, and we'll start by calculating the degrees of freedom. There are 4 columns and 2 rows, so that is 3 times 1 to get the degrees of freedom. There are 3 degrees of freedom. The chi-squared score, the critical value that we'll look up at the 1% level of significance, 11.345. We need to go ahead and calculate our test statistic and make a comparison with this. Let's just get that on a diagram. 11.345 is over here. 11.345 is over here. Any test statistic that we get that's in the shaded region is going to be a significant result. Okay, to calculate the test statistic, I'm going to use the sum of the observed squared over the expected minus the grand total. So for each of these cells, it's the black score squared over the red score. The black frequency squared over the red frequency. And we'll do that for all 8 of these. I'm going to write it out. There's some marks for that in the exam. And then I'm going to type it into the calculator to get our answer. Okay, all into the calculator, we get 13.736. This is over here. This is significant. This is in the rejection region. This is greater than our critical value. So let's just formalize that. Our test statistic, 13.736, is greater than 11.345. We have a significant result. That means that we have enough evidence to reject H0. We have enough evidence that there is an association between gender and musical preference.